Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. So in this video I thought that I would take you guys through the Super Strength SBR battle. This is the second to last of the original 10 SBR that were added into the game. So we will take on this team with a relatively free-to-play team. This challenge with a relatively free-to-play team. We're going to basically focus on having the SS4 Vegeta, much like the Agility one, do a lot of the damage and a lot of the tanking. And we're mainly just going to have a couple tanky units and just some spread out damage and some decent units. In terms of free-to-play, I'm going to go quite heavily on the free-to-play with this one. I know it's probably going to make a pretty imbalanced team. But this is more just to display how you can essentially get this challenge done, this SBR done with a single good friend card, rather than displaying, a balanced team that can do the content quite easily. And the reason for this is just basically sometimes it's easier to show off a gimmick strategy that you can apply to some of the easier stages, because that will help you in terms of performance and just seeing how you do. So in this first stage we're going to have the Pan and the Grandpa Gohan. Pan and Grandpa Gohan gain their defense on each attack, so they start out with quite a low defense, but their damage is alright. Next to him we have the Kaioken Goku. He's okay, but again his damage is higher than his defense, so he's not that great a defensive unit. In terms of kind of how we're going to roll with the team is basically generally we're going to try and have the Vegeta linked with the B-Pan for the GT link for 3 key, and the joint effect of their active skills and their synergy in terms of having enough key to super attack, and then from there we're going to obviously continue along that path. We do have the lead being 100% lead in this movie God Power Vegeta, so that will be quite effective from that standpoint, but other than that we're not going to be too bothered or concerned in terms of moving along with the stage. The other decent unit that we have is the Krillin. The Krillin is an exceptional tank because he has 50% damage reduction when guard is active, and obviously in a type advantage situation guard is always active, so it's a pretty easy way to make him tank some big damage. So you're going to use him to tank the majority of the attacks on a turn, or try and line him up with a super attack. He also links halfway decent with the Pan and the Grandpa Gohan, so it shouldn't be too difficult in terms of taking on this challenge. And then overall not too hard. You do have to use some items to get this stage kind of done, but I mean overall it's not anything too difficult. It's definitely something that you can get done relatively easily. From that aspect, I think the easiest way to go about this is obviously to link up the Krillin with the Grandpa Gohan and Pan. I do shift them around a little bit. I was trying out different combinations, but yeah, that's probably your best linking, and then to just kind of proceed from there. You can very obviously make a better team, and I did avoid using a unit like the LR Vegeta, the free-to-play LR Strength Vegeta that you get from grinding. I thought maybe he's a bit too grind intensive to use for this stage, so yeah, I thought best not to use him, but if you have him you could very easily slot him in, and he'll very easily make the team much better. So yeah, overall not very difficult at all. Definitely something that you could get done quite easy on. The active skill of Vegeta is going to come in handy quite a bit. Obviously it does quite a lot of damage, and you can link it up with B-Pan 30% active skill to increase his damage during the turn, and then just obviously increase his damage in general, which is quite helpful. So yeah, definitely something that we want to keep in mind when we go through the stage and everything like that. But yeah, beyond that, nothing too crazy in terms of like difficulty with the stage or anything like that. We don't generally have many problems with the stage, so yeah, there's really nothing that we're too worried about happening, you know, in general. It's pretty straightforward. B-Pan will heal on her SA, which is quite easy, and then obviously the ability of her to tank will also be quite substantial. So that's pretty good, and we'll proceed with everything from there. But other than that, I don't foresee any issues in terms of getting this SBR done. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. But yeah, this Krillin tanks very well. Obviously he's from the Freezer EZA. It's like where we utilize him. So that's pretty easy and pretty relaxed. Nothing too concerning in terms of that stage there. So he's a very good unit to receive from that content and to be used in this content himself. Overall, I found this one to be one of the easier ones. Obviously, we do get concerned in general when we have things like, you know, the units not being able to tank and things like that. But in terms of this SBR, we just have a very nice selection. If you're not willing to run a full free-to-play team, there's plenty of other units you can use. There's obviously the Vegeta, who's very, very good. He's, you know, very, very, very reliable. You can use him if need be. And then if you don't feel like using the Vegeta, you can probably use pretty much anyone, really. Super Strength has quite a few good options. There is like the Future Trunks, who's also very good. So yeah, you can use him, and then you can use Kefla, you can use Whis. Whis is excellent on the strength. You can use the LRs like the time traveling LR, although there's no time traveling opponents in this stage, so I do suggest not doing that, just because there are no time traveling opponents, so it's not really worth your time for you to kind of, you know, net out the best possibilities. And then yeah, beyond that, there's quite a few decent strength. Like Namekoku's also one. Who else is like a major strength LR? Oh yeah, the Vegeta, one of the best units in the game. So there's quite a few decent units that you have. So I definitely suggest that you proceed with that and just continue along that path. But yeah, overall, we're quite happy with this team build that we have here, this entire free-to-play one. We will take a bit of damage sometimes with super attacks and that, especially if they catch the wrong units. But that's okay, because generally B-Pan's heal will heal us up enough that we're not too concerned about it. So yeah, we definitely can, you know, improve the way we handle things and get going from there. So yeah, Vegeta's active skill is really going to come in handy for this. I know I said it a lot, but it's very similar to the Kid Goku and his active skill, in that it really just helps out in terms of eliminating a threat and an enemy, which is obviously super helpful. So yeah, but otherwise, overall decent team build. This team really only struggles in like the 5-man fights, just because it does lack in damage across the board. So we will have to, you know, not refrain, but we just have to be careful with how we handle that content there, and how we handle, like, this fight will be quite difficult for us, as you'll see, just because we don't have a lot of damage, so we have to try and take out the weaker ones first, and that doesn't always result in the best play happening, just simply because obviously we struggle from a damage point of view, so eliminating enemies is, you know, quite difficult. Goku does a bit of damage. Gogeta is probably the biggest letdown in terms of the stage. He can be quite erratic in terms of performance. Main reason being is that he struggles to do damage, even though he's receiving his full buff, because we have a Vegeta family and a Goku's family unit. So if you don't know, he receives a bigger buff than his passive when you have a Goku and Vegeta family unit on a team. Generally just his lack of links and his inability to perform on a large scale is generally his problem that he has. So yeah, we have to just be careful about that. But beyond that, I don't think there's any real issues that we'll have in terms of, you know, performance across the board. So Krillin's tanking very well. Then we have Pan doing her thing. So overall, really nothing too bad or too crazy. So yeah, quite relaxed, quite a relaxed fight from that aspect. I think if you are concerned about units, you definitely trade out the Gogeta for something else. I'm sure there's plenty other decent strength units that you could have pulled. Pretty much anyone is better than, you know, not better than him in that sense, but yeah, he just struggles a lot with producing results, I want to say, consistently, just because his linking is so bad across the board with this team. And at 100% of a leader skill, he doesn't really carry the weight of performance that you kind of want in terms of these units. He's not pulling his weight, basically, to cut a long story short. So yeah, you just want to be careful with that and see where that goes. But then yeah, otherwise it's generally okay to run this team. You will get decent results. I wouldn't worry too much about anything. So yeah. And yeah, you can see, I mean, there's Gogeta. He's very nice animation, very cool units, but he's not really, like, he doesn't help out the fusion team because he's not on the category. And he doesn't really produce a lot of results because he's not that way inclined. Like, he's not on the fusion team, so he struggles in terms of where he belongs, I want to say. Like, that's his big issue. He doesn't belong in the future, he doesn't belong in the movie heroes, so he just struggles in general, like, with performing correctly, with getting things done. So yeah, definitely a unit that I believe could have had a bit of a better treatment, so to say. Definitely could have performed better overall. And yeah, but Vegeta carries his weight well enough as the LR, so we never really truly worried about anything from that perspective. And so yeah, we overall very happy about what's going on right now. We've got no problems with this team or its build or anything like that. So yeah, very happy with how things are going. So yeah. Otherwise, overall easy SBR, obviously one of the original ones, so we're not too concerned about anything. I think our units that we're most concerned about are going to be like, yeah, if you come in here with like a Pan, like a strength Pan, just Pan, that's going to be a problem. We do unfortunately miss out on our Dokkan attack here, which is, you know, a little bit of an issue, but it doesn't cause too much of a problem in the long run, so we're not too worried about that. Yeah, we miss out, but it's at the same time it is just a bit unfortunate rather than being detrimental to a T. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, we do manage to finish the fight, and we get our 5 stones, we get our rewards. I mean, obviously I've got the rewards already, so we're not too concerned about that, but yeah, we do manage to get our 5 stones and get all of our rewards that we got if you're a new player. So yeah, you can do it fully free to play. You essentially rely a lot on the power of the friend LR, which is, you know, I don't know if a lot of people like doing that. It's not the best kind of strategy to take in a long-term approach, but you know, you can get it done, so it's definitely it's worth the time, so to say. But because we're getting things done, and because we're getting content and we're getting rewards, it's definitely worth your time to finish off this SBR and get your rewards. But yeah, there's not much to say here because of the way the team build is and it's working around Vegeta. Yeah, I do think you probably are better off with running a team built around Vegeta. He's very clearly the best option here. But other than that, you know, we're not too worried about anything. We're quite happy with how things are going, and so we're not gonna panic too much about anything over here. Yeah, Gogeta is probably the biggest letdown. I would say Gogeta is the biggest issue, but he still manages to do alright. I mean, he manages to not suck too much, which really is all you can say about him at this point. So yeah, we definitely doing okay in terms of performance here. So not too worried about anything. We'll definitely see how we go in terms of performance. But yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say, to be honest, because the team performs admirably and it does its function. Like, it's not struggling, it's not giving me issues, it's pretty effective, and it's not something that I'm too worried about. So I'm very, very happy with how the team performs. Overall, I think, yeah, you just replace Gogeta and you'll probably just perform better. You don't need to worry too much about anything. Gogeta is a solid unit, so yeah. We're going to finish up here. B-Pan's active skill is going to be super helpful. And then we're obviously going to have the heal from B-Pan. So B-Pan's very clutch. She's even very clutch in Extreme SBR. I would say you can't use any of the free-to-play cards in SBR barring Krillin. I think Krillin is like the only card that you can take to SBR. Just because he's the only one that performs well enough to go in SBR. So I don't think any other cards, B-Pan you can take. You could possibly take the Strength Vegeta. He is a little bit of a liability. And then you could definitely take Krillin, and you can definitely obviously use the SS4 friend lead. If you have your own SS4, I suggest that. Obviously, it's very, very helpful to have the SS4 perform there. So yeah, the SS4 Vegeta is definitely the best lead in terms of the category in general. So I do suggest using him at all times. But yeah, that's the run. Sorry there wasn't too much to say. Like I said, it's a very simple build relying entirely on the Vegeta. So we don't think too much about it or try and work around it. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helps you in some way, at least in building the team. If you're a completely free-to-play player and you feel like taking on Strength SBR, this is the team. So yeah, cool guys. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Cheers and bye.